Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Jeremiah's Brainbusters. I'm your host, Jeremiah, and this is the show where we dive deep into the amazing world of knowledge and answer all of your super curious questions. Now, for today's adventure, one of our super curious listeners, Alicia from California, has asked, how do magnets work? Well, here you have it. One of the most interesting questions I've ever seen. Well, how do magnets work? We'll find out after this quick break. The more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Wait until after the credits for the answer. So I got a hold of one of my friends, Logan from Oregon. He's a physicist who is earning a P.H.D. in physics, so I thought he'd be perfect for this question. I'll call him now.
Hi, Jeremiah.
Hi, Logan. I got a question from one of my listeners for my podcast, and they asked how magnets work. Can you help us understand magnets?
Thanks for asking. I'm glad to help. What if I told you that magnets are just magic?
Really?
Well, no, not really. But a lot of things sure seem like magic until we use the scientific method to understand them. People have actually been using magnets for thousands of years, but only in the last 2,000 or so years have we been able to figure out what makes them work.
Wow, I didn't know they were so old!
That's right. People have been using magnets for compasses since at least 500 BC. The word magnet actually comes from the name of a city, Magnesia, where they found a lot of magnetized iron.
That's amazing! What did they use magnets for way back then?
Well, for a long time people used them to pick up iron. Around 1,000 years ago, Chinese explorers were using magnets as compasses. Compasses are little floating magnets, and they line up with Earth's magnetic poles to tell us which way is north.
That's so cool! So with modern science, what have we learned about how magnets work?
So have you heard of electrons?
Yeah, aren't they those little tiny things inside atoms that go along with neutrons and protons?
Right, yeah. So electrons have a tiny bit of electric charge, and they spin around inside of atoms. And it turns out that when electric charges spin around, they can form tiny magnets.
Wow, so these really tiny magnets are just formed by electric charges spinning around.
Right. Most types of atoms don't have enough magnetism for us to notice, but some do, especially iron atoms.
But one atom is super tiny, so will we even feel its magnetism?
That's right, you probably wouldn't. But when you get a lot of iron atoms all pointing the same direction, you can get a piece of magnetic metal.
Cool! Why do iron magnets stick together?
So those spinning electrons like to line up and point the same direction. Each magnet has a north pole and a south pole, which are just the top and bottom of all of the spinning magnets inside. Imagine you have two magnets and you point both of their north poles up. So all of the electrons are spinning in the same direction. Then if you stack one magnet on top of the other, you have a south pole sitting on top of a north pole. And then all the electrons in those two magnets are spinning the same way. So they want to stay stuck the way they are. But if you turn one of them upside down and touch a north pole to a north pole, now they're spinning opposite directions and they want to push each other away.
Wow, so magnets stick together because of spinning electrons? That's so cool!
Exactly. Now, is it time for the closing credits with the dun 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 dun?
Nope, not today. We have a few new segments. For the first new segment, we have a joke time. What's the difference between a pessimist and a magnet? A magnet has a positive side. Why was the bear's personality so magnetic? He was a polar bear. A farmer put his horses and they all started sticking to the grass. They were in a magnetic field. If you'd like to submit a joke, go to our website and click the button labeled Submit a Joke. Welcome back to Jeremiah's Brainbusters. For our second news segment, we'll ask FactBot, a new robot I have invented. Hi, FactBot.
Hello. What is the question you would like me to answer?
Well, I want to know, how does gum lose its flavor?
This answer is according to the American Chemical Society. As you chew, the sweetener and flavoring dissolve in your saliva and spread over your tongue. Eventually, most of the sweetener and flavoring slide down your throat with your saliva and the great taste becomes a memory. Gum base, the chewy part, does not dissolve in saliva. This is why you lose the flavor, but not the gum.
Wow, that's so cool. That's it for the 4th episode of Jeremiah's Brainbusters. Hope you had fun learning with me. Remember, if you have a fast-paced question, please send it in. You can ask an adult to help you record your question and send it to cupt.ly/brainbusters. We'll be answering your questions in future episodes. That's for new episodes every week, because next we'll be doing an episode about snakes. Thanks for listening, and I can't wait to go on another adventure with you next time. This episode was brought to you by Podbean. It was directed, produced, edited, and fact-checked by your host, Jeremiah. A huge thanks to Scratch for some of the sound effects, and also to Logan Page. He's an actual physicist and helped us answer this question and helped write the script. I'll also give you a hint on what's coming up. It starts with a T and ends with shirts. Can you guess it? Go to cutt.ly/brainbusters on the brand new merchandise page to learn more. Are you ready for the answer for today's riddle? The more you take, the more you leave behind. The answer is...